Thank you, Harpal. Welcome everybody, and I hope you're having a very good weekend here at the conference. It's really great to see you all here. It takes a bit of an effort, particularly if you're coming into state, but it's well worth the effort. So I hope you've learnt a lot. Property investing's like a huge jigsaw puzzle, and every little bit of information makes the bigger picture. So while you might not get some of it, you'll suddenly find that there's a tiny little bit of information that will suddenly make sense. So it's just, we're all here together to share our information. So we're going to tell you today some of our strategies for maximising the Kevin Young retirement plan. First of all, get used to the big zeros on the end of figures. Get used to debt. When it's just something that you're going to be learning with, we're now looking at a higher level of investing. So it's important to not get scared when you're looking at figures with about 3 or 4 zeros on the end. Just cross them off. At the end of the day, it's all going to be the same amount. So it's just working with what you've got in front of you. When you think about it, nobody got wealthy saving money. Kerry Packer and the Packer family did not get wealthy by paying cash for everything or saving money. The top companies in the BRW rich list, they all learnt to borrow money. So you're actually learning how to borrow responsibly. So it's something that's going to be what you're learning to do to get where you are. So we need to get more result from less effort. So we're working on a couple of stages. We're working on accumulation and consolidation, and then we're going to harvest. So it is a journey, pretty much what you've heard everyone talk about today. So how does it work? First of all, when you're in accumulation, you need to have that mindset and that attitude to debt. As I said before, get used to it. Get used to it because we're going to be dealing with debt. Then use the tick support systems. You've got your property mentor, you've got your branch manager, you've got other people in the network that are going to help you, where they're all working together to help you out. So use them. Everything there is available at your fingertips and it's at no cost to you. So use all those tick systems, use the property profiles, the weekly the Friday Property Magazine that Kai sends out. If you're not getting it from your property mentor, ask them to send it out to you because it all adds to the bigger picture. So we're going to work out the finance structures. So now I'm going to pass it to Ralph, and Ralph's going to tell you a bit more about the finance.
Hope this one works. Finance. When we start, we all need some cash. Whether you're a university student and you want to buy something, you're going to need cash. Now, you might beg from your parents, you might borrow it from the bank if you've got a job, or you might steal it. But you need cash to get started. Once you've got a bit of time under your belt and you've bought something, you will have access to equity that you've built up over time. And that's basically where we start. But you will need cash to start with. You need to treat property investing as a business. It's not a hobby. It's going to turn into a business, and it'll be a multi-million-dollar business, as we've heard over the course of the weekend. Next slide. Diversity is very important. We buy multiple types of properties in different areas. We've got 8 properties in our portfolio. They're in 5 different cities, in 3 different states. We've got a mixture of properties, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, 4 bedroom house on land. And we do that for a number of reasons. Basically, it's to minimize risk. So each area and each property type has a different cycle. We've seen property clocks this weekend. And that allows you to access the equity in each individual property at different times. So you can always go to one property, well, hopefully you can, to get some more money out to continue your journey. Okay, next slide. The second stage, we've just done the accumulation stage. Now we're into the consolidation stage. Basically, again, long-term view. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme, it's a get-rich-slow scheme. It takes years, so you need to be able to wait. And you might be waiting 10, 15 years. It just depends on where your properties are, how quickly you manage to get them, as to when you can, as to how quickly these properties are going to grow. Okay, next slide, I think. We're going to work to improve our property performance. That's you. So I'm going to hand over to Maree.
Hello. I just thought I'd start out by giving a little bit of an introduction to myself. So I'm a property mentor from Sydney, but I'm also a full-time teacher, chemistry teacher. I have 4 children, 2 of whom are studying chemistry at the moment. So I'm also a chemistry tutor to my children. I'm also, just for my sins, have a voluntary full-time paid, unpaid position as the president of the Science Teachers Association of New South Wales. So this is really property investing for busy people. This is the only way we could possibly invest is through property, because you can afford to be a little bit lazy, not too lazy about it, and it just happens. So we're in the consolidation phase, and at the moment I need to start to get back into this. So the first thing I need to do is to work to improve my property performance. So some of the things that I might look to do, our first property that we bought in 2004 was in Port Kennedy in Western Australia. It was currently renting at $175 a week. It was 5 years old, so it needed a bit of maintenance. So in that time, from then till now, we've put in, renovated the ensuite, we've put in a garden shed, we've put in a carport, we've put in some air conditioning for those people. So it's now renting at $350. It's doubled in that time as well. So I haven't neglected my other properties. I've put in air conditioning in one, a shed in another, and so on. But that's the way you can improve your property performance. What else do I do? I'm on the body corporate of 3 of my properties. So 4 of them are body corporate strata properties, and I'm on the body corporate of those. So I'm trying to help maintain the entire development to make sure that my property and all the other properties that are surrounding it are living up to the standard that I want them to. So that's some of the suggestions you could do to improve your property performance. So you've also got to have increased flexibility. So this is really, as Ralph said, it's a time to wait for your properties to grow. And so you've got to have a lot of flexibility there. So rates could go up and down. You need to be able to manage that. You could have loss of rent. Your rent might go up. What else might happen? You might need to decide on whether you fix your rates. Who signed up to Kevin's email about fixing rates? A few more people than yesterday, maybe, Kevin. So Kevin's going to send out another notice about that this week. If you're interested to know when Kevin suggests about fixing rates, he's going to send out some bulletins about that. So that's another thing you could do. So you need to have that flexibility. You need to be able to look after the good times and the bad times as well. Okay, and this is 3 to 5 years ahead that you're planning for. So your consolidation, 3 to 5 years out from when you want to retire, give up your full-time job, you need to be in contact with your broker. So you can't just retire and then say to everybody, I've retired, now how do I get that money? You need to be in contact with the brokers to set up the strategies. Okay, it's easy to do that while you're in full-time employment, or at least in the employment that you're in all the time. So you need to also talk to your property mentor. Don't spring it on them either. So you've got a few things to do in this consolidation phase to still be working at it. And I certainly do need to, after a busy year last year, get back in and see where my properties are. But they're still growing, and I'm still getting rent, and my agents are looking after those for me. All right, so the last stage is one that Harpal's very good at, and it's the harvest stage.
Thank you. Sure, everyone wants to be at the harvest stage. This is the pointy end of the business. This is where we would all like to be. We worked hard, scrimped, saved, got 4 jobs at a time to be able to accumulate our portfolio. And then we've sat there and seen us through the consolidation stage. And followed Kevin's plan as he spelt it out, that you got to wait. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme, so to speak. So we get to the harvest stage. Now, just because you think you come to the harvest stage, you don't throw a hissy fit and tell your boss, I'm all right here. As you've just heard, this has to be a very carefully planned out strategy. And for this, you need to start working towards the latter half or the end of your consolidation stage. You need to be able to go back to your broker, have a chat with them, and discuss your loan structures. For each one of us, it'll be an individual exercise. There's no set template. You have to sit down over a series of meetings, not only with your broker, but also with your property mentor and the branch manager, to get whatever help and experience that they can, or advice that they can give you. Before you go and throw up that job and walk out into the sunset, that's, by the way, the time that you perhaps have the best opportunity of getting the best kind of loans. Hopefully, before you retire, you should be at your optimum salary level, you and your partner, wife, so that you are able to draw down at least up to 80%, if not more. Because once you've retired, you don't have a steady income coming through. Banks don't look at you very kindly. Not only you have to be below the 60% level, you in fact need to be well around 30-35% level, as you would have heard today, to be able to draw out the equity to live on. So before you do what you really would like to do, you need to have a chat with your broker, set up your lines of credit, maybe even restructure your portfolio a bit for further borrowings down the line. Have your lines of credit set up, and then think in terms of finally drawing down and harvesting the money. Now, it's all well and good for people who have the time. Though this is not part of my presentation for you today, but what if you do want to quit the workforce a little earlier? You don't have the time, you do want to quit the workforce a little earlier. You don't have the 10 years plus 10 years doubling time. Maybe you want to look at a hybrid kind of a strategy. If you've been working, surely you've got a certain amount of super set aside. Have a discussion, because I do have these discussions with my members. Unfortunately, all my members are not as young as I am, and they are thinking of retirement. So I have a fairly long, detailed conversations with them that is there anything else that we can do? Yes, there is something that you could do. If you have fortunately built up a certain amount of reserves in your super, not the $1 million that we all aspire to have, but even half or 3/4 of that, perhaps you could start using that to buy you time. Because essentially what we need in this entire game is time. And you could use your super to buy you time so that your equity grows. But remember, to be able to set up your lines of credit, you need to be working, and you need to be at the top range of your salary before you throw in the towel, so to speak. Yes, you will be able to borrow monies later on down the track, but it will not be at that same level. This brings me to the end of my part. Basically, what I have discussed with you is your harvest stage and the extraction techniques and the diverse finance options which you will have to discuss with your broker. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, guys.